going to start this evening by kind of introducing ourselves. So welcome. This has become a election night tradition now here with the Volunteer Times team. Some of us are professional staff. Some of us just think we want to be. But it's great to have you all with us tonight. My name is Brandon Johnson. I'm the local owner of Eagle Tire Pros, active in the community, and at the August election set this event out primarily so that I could win my election. So I'm proud to serve on the local Campbell County School Board, thanks to the voters out there. And so I firsthand know what this night's like to so many folks, how many raw emotions are going on, and what this really feels like. Isaac, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, sir. So I'm Isaac Jones. I'm a member here of the Volunteer Times staff, the junior reporter for the Volunteer Times. I'm also the Campbell County FFA president and newly announced Volunteer of the Year for Campbell County. So Youth Volunteer of the Year, very happy about that, honored for that. And I'm just here tonight to help out a little bit. I have never run for anything before yet. So you just wait. Just wait.
Isaac for president. Well, when we were talking about the coverage for tonight, this is such a monumental election, not just nationally, but here locally. We're going to have a lot of changes, a lot of things going on. So Kelly Jo, the editor of the Volunteer Times and the owner, always believed in investing in young people.
Yeah.
So we're glad to have kind of a younger perspective here. It's weird for me to say younger perspective, but we've got a young adult perspective here. Josh, introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Josh Griffin. You guys know me from the football games. I do the live stream of the football games every Friday night, and also do some reporting and writing for Kelly Jo. And I'll be manning the spreadsheet tonight, trying to keep the numbers coming in as quickly as they can. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, we try to call this thing as early as we can so we can all get to bed.
Yeah, well, Josh has been the guru here, and the reason I firmly believe we've got the best election night stream in the community because we have volunteers and staff out at every polling location reporting back as soon as those polling sites close, typically 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes after. They're going to give us the live tabulation of those votes. They're going to be uploaded in actual time here. And then we've got somebody at the Election Commission to see the big announcement for the night, which is going to be early voting. That's going to make up a huge percentage of the votes. Yeah. Our early voting this year set records, it looks like. Not completely verified yet, but it looks like it set records. I went by 3 times myself before the 4th time I finally had a line short enough I could stand in on my lunch break. And so huge shout out to Mallory Rosenfeld and her staff at the Election Commission, all 5 of our election commissioners who have done a great job helping to manage this election. John, you want to come over while we got a second and introduce yourself? People may not know who you are.
I'm not very well known in the community.
Not at all.
Excuse me, Josh.
Yeah.
I'm John Hughes. I've been with the Volunteer Times for about 15 years now and done several of these elections. It is a big night for all the candidates, and it's a big night for the local people too, because these guys and the city council members, that's who's going to affect where you live and what happens in your community. Brandon's a business owner. He lives in the city of La Follette. Yeah. So he has a doubly vested interest in who runs the city of La Follette. It affects his life greatly, a lot more than who your president is or anything like that. These guys set the rules you live by, the taxes you pay locally, and what happens to your tax money, what businesses are recruited. It's this election right here. Your county commissioners, your school board members like Brandon, they're the people who make the rules and set the policies that are going to affect your community. And this is the election you really need to pay attention to, is these mayors, these city councils, commissions, and things like that.
Yeah. Before you leave, can we switch to the La Follette Mayor tab? Let's just kind of talk. I mean, this is going to be, for a lot of us local folks, this and the La Follette City Council are going to be the big hot races of the evening. Isaac, let's start. We've got a couple different candidates up here. Is there any of them you want to I know you know them all personally. Is there anything you might want to say? Any thoughts about one of these 4 candidates?
I would just like to say, if I was a voter in the city of La Follette, it would be a tough decision for myself.
Sure.
Because all of these people are just stand-up guys, I believe. And if I was voting in the city of La Follette, I would really have to think and educate myself on who I was voting for.
Yeah. These are people who have served in some capacity for the most part in various elected offices for years, and lived in the city of La Follette for many years. They're just entrenched in the community. So it's a tough election and a tough decision for the voters of La Follette. We'll see who they pick.
Yeah, I know all 4 of these candidates personally. I'll start by saying some good things about Johnny Burge. Johnny Burge, I'm now sitting in his school board seat. So Johnny Burge for 24 years served Campbell County's 3rd district as our school board member and did an outstanding job. He is just he was always one of those folks who was great to work with. He was one of those folks that was great to negotiate with. He would compromise on things where he could to get things done. And I really respected that about Johnny. John, you want to say anything about Philip Farmer?
I've known Philip Farmer and his family for many years. His brother Scott's one of my best friends. Just a great family. Philip served on the committee, on the city council, and in the mayor's office in the last 4 years when he had to run as a fill-in for mayor. And things went pretty well under Philip, and people love him. You know, he made their meat, cut their meat for years at Hollingsworth. He's just a great guy.
Want to say anything about Scotty, Isaac?
Well, we got Scotty Kitts on the ballot this year, which is a big change from what he's normally used to. Same area, but a different level of office. Seen him in the county commission for years. I've spoken in front of him at different meetings, and he's always been a team player and just ready to help. And I think if he gets elected to mayor, that would be exactly what he'd be doing as well.
Yeah, certainly. So, as many of our viewers know, Scotty Kitts served faithfully on the county commission, representing the 2nd district for many, many years. And then when I was in high school, a lot of our viewers will remember that Scotty Kitts ran for county mayor. And the most memorable thing about that is he did come in 3rd in that race, but everybody said that Scotty Kitts worked harder than anybody else.
That's true.
It was 95 degrees, hot summer sun. Scotty would stand by the 4-lane
In front of Walmart.
on Walmart. I know people that actually said, I'm voting for Scotty because he worked that hard.
Yeah.
And Buford, people may not remember this, but Johnny Burge was the recreation director for Citadel Falls. I believe Buford.
His 24 years on the school board, I think he had an opponent 2 or maybe 3 times because people were kind of scared to run against him. You know, a lot of people like Johnny. He's a strong candidate. Same thing against Scotty. You know, strong candidate, knows how to work. We've just got a really interesting night here. Can we switch to the LaFollette City Council? We lost audio. Let's get a check here.
Folks, can you hear us? Please comment if you can.
Check your mic. There's a little switch on the bottom.
Folks are going old school in 3, 2, 1. All right, we're good.
Folks, we're sorry if we had technical difficulties. The audio went out.
John, that was a beautiful rendition of Delta Dawn.
Brandon, don't sell yourself short on Ave Maria. Brandon did sing for us. Isaac was dancing. You may not have been able to see it because the volume may have been out. You did a good job.
I hate when the volume goes out and you can't see. But folks, we're back. Sorry about that slight technical difficulty. Thankfully, it happened now.
As of now, no results have came into us yet. We do have people sitting by at every polling location, but we did talk about the candidates. Brandon's getting ready to talk about the city council candidates.
Yeah, we can kind of hop back and forth on some of these. Tyler Dumont, I think Tyler Dumont is going to be one to watch this evening.
Yeah.
Nice young man, worked really hard, saw him at a lot of events. He is the youngest candidate running in city council. We've got Mike Evans. Mike Evans is a great candidate. He came and joined us here at the Times 2 years ago, and then 2 years ago before that, I remember he came and visited us as well. So this is Mike's 3rd time running for city council. And I will tell you, you've got to respect that. Somebody who's willing to get out there, work hard, and Mike always does, come up short, and then put themselves out there again, I got to respect that.
He's trying to make a difference in the community, that's for sure.
Yeah. We got Mark Hoskins, as so many folks know. A lot of people know the Hoskins name.
Yeah.
Mark's a former city councilman, and has decided he took a little stint off, and now he wants back on. So I'll be curious to see. And we've got Wayne Kitts, who is out of the 6 candidates the incumbent. So he has decided that he wants 4 more years on the Follett City Council. Done a great job. I've worked with him, and
All these city council seats, before we go further, 2 are open.
correct.
So that 2 of these people are going to win tonight. So it's not just one candidate that's going in. 2 of these people will win tonight.
Yeah, 2 highest vote getters, and when you vote, if you're not a voter in the city of La Follette, you may not realize, but you get to vote for 2 as well.
Right.
So, Jimmy Marlowe is actually the candidate that I probably know the least. I've met him several times. John, I think you kind of know Jimmy.
I don't really know Jimmy, but I did see him out campaigning a lot, and a lot of his literature and everything like that. So he ran a pretty strong campaign. We'll see where that gets him in the race.
Yeah. And then, we got some results coming in already. Where's this from?
This is from College Hill.
Okay, and John just had some received in. We've got some to call for Campbell County High School. That will be going to John.
What do we want to put in first?
Okay. I've got Campbell County High School, if you want to start with that.
All right, you want to start with the Follett City Mayor?
La Follette City Mayor, Johnny Burge, 42. Philip Farmer, 18. Scotty Kitts, 47. Buford T. Prophet, 1. Campbell County High School, City Council, Tyler DeMott, 12. Mike Evans, 39. Mark Hoskins, 21. Wayne Kitts, 34. Jimmy Marlowe, 15. And the permit to sell.
Hold on, we've got Johnny McDonald.
Oh, pardon me, Johnny McDonald. No, 30 for Johnny McDonald.
Well, we're going to have close races
Sorry,
tonight.
it was on another page. And the package referendum, 69 yes, 35 0. Or 35 no.
Wow.
So the package, that's a strong start for the package vote. But really close races there between
Yeah.
Scotty and Johnny Burge, and really close in that city council race too. 9 votes separating the top 3 vote getters.
Do we have any more?
We do have some from Cedar Hill, but they're not readable. I'm having to wait
That
till they
was some,
resend them.
Megan, our reporter, who had the Campbell County High School.
All right, we got College Hill.
From Faith Evans.
Thank
Okay,
you.
College Hill.
Faith Evans. Let's see here.
I asked her to resend those because I couldn't make them out.
All right, College Hill. Let's start with Johnny Burge for mayor. 25 votes. Philip Farmer with 6. Scotty Kitts with 38. Buford Prophet with 2.
Scotty ran strong in College Hill.
We're also going to look at council members from College Hill. Tyler DeMott with 9. Mike Evans with 12. Mark Hoskins with 11. Wayne Kitts with 31. Jimmy Marlowe with 13. Johnny McDonald with 19. So right now your 2 candidates leading the ballot for City Council are Mike Evans and Wayne Kitts by a pretty good margin, but it's still anybody's game there.
I've got West La Follette
Oh,
Elementary.
hold on, we got polling, package stores. 39 yay, 26 nay.
So that package stores are out to a strong. That's probably
Yeah.
going to pass. West La Follette Elementary School from Brennan Burge.
Is that clarify for me on which one are we in?
I'm assuming it's West La Follette.
West La Follette.
West La
No,
Follette.
Brennan Burge has has La Follette Middle School. Brennan Burge has La Follette Middle
Oh,
School.
pardon me, that's not Brennan Burge. This says West La Follette and Rec Center. I'm not sure who we have there. I'm sorry about that.
So what's the follow?
107 for Johnny Burge. 14 for Philip Farmer. 84 for Scotty Kitts. 5 for Buford Prophet. City Council, Tyler Dumont, 29. Mike Evans, 51. Mark Hoskins, 42. Wayne Kitts, 69. Jimmy Marlowe, 61. Johnny McDonald, 42. Package 140, yes. 65, no.
What a large margin there.
Yeah. We're gonna have any more results coming in.
Yes, I've got one right here. Hold
Oh,
on.
great.
People are asking to see the numbers. Let's see me zoom in a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to pull this back just a tad, guys. Apologize. We were watching our data come in. Okay. All right. Here
This could be
is.
the rec center voting too, because
I have Rec Center right here.
he sent me, that's where he said it was.
That's West Fall.
He says West Follett Rec Center. So, I guess it's West Follett Recreational Center right over there,
But
rather than the actual recreation center. So that, yes, okay, that's good. Where's the mayor's race standing right now after that last round?
Right now, neck and neck between Scotty and Johnny.
Wow.
I mean, I think I'm comfortable. I think anybody can look at these numbers and say comfortably, Johnny Burge or Scotty Kitts is going to be your next Follett City Mayor.
And as Brandon mentioned earlier, I don't know if you heard it or not because I'm not sure if the audio was working, but if it was working, early voting is going to tell a big tale in
It's
these.
going to be massive. Now, one thing to note is Johnny did come in with a huge lead at West Follett. Where Johnny lives on Rose Hill, most of those folks there, his neighbors, are going to vote at West Follett.
Okay, we've got some more results.
Most of there.
Okay, this is the La Follette Recreation Center. Okay. All right, we have Johnny Burge, 26. Philip Farmer, 4. Scotty Kitts, 29. Buford Prophet, 1. Tyler Dumont, 6. Mike Evans, 11. Mark Hoskins, 15. Wayne Kitts, 26. Jimmy Marlowe, 14. Johnny McDonald, 10. The retail package stores, to permit package stores, 41, not to 20.
I'm pretty comfortable saying that we can now call them package stores unless some really strange pattern developed in early voting that La Follette will have package stores available now, joining the city of Caryville and the city of Jellicoe in town as municipalities who have package stores.
Don't count out early voting. That,
Early voting would have to be a strangely skewed optic on early voting for that, for
I know.
the percentages to change that much.
personally, I went randomly on a Tuesday at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the line was wrapped around the building. So the number of people that early voted this year,
Been huge.
There's a lot, Brandon mentioned it may be a record setter, and honestly, I drove by several polling locations today, and they were very packed in the city of La Follette.
Yeah, so I mean, again, comfortably, with all due respect to Mr. Farmer and Prophet, both great guys. I think we can count them out for this shake as mayor. It's going to be between Johnny Burge and Scotty Kitts.
2 vote margin right now, man.
Yeah, and early voting is going to be large. You know, it'll be curious who that favors.
Scotty is a second district guy, and La Follette Elementary School is the second district, as is East La Follette. I wonder if Scotty's going to have a little advantage there versus Johnny.
Possibly. I'm going to gamble that I could be wrong. I think Johnny is going to, percentage-wise, do better on early voting than Scotty. I could be completely wrong.
Because it's extremely close right now. It's a coin toss right there between those two.
And I don't, there's no science behind it, but I just feel like more Johnny
Sometimes
voters.
your gut instinct,
Yeah.
it's right.
I feel like more Johnny voters would early vote than Scotty voters. I could be wrong, but that's just, you know.
I will say this also about my random Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Scotty Kitts was just beyond the orange line outside the election commission, shaking everybody's hand.
Yeah.
Scotty's ground game has been probably unmatched.
Yeah.
I agree. His sign game, his door knocking, just being out in the community.
I'll tell you, as a candidate, I did not work early voting. I couldn't justify taking off that much from work. And so, you know, I worked at night and went and hit doors. My opponent did work early voting. So on election day, I beat her by 30 points. But on early voting, I only won by 10 points. So was that difference because my opponent did set up almost every day?
And you learn something with all these,
You know.
But you do work, you have a job, you have a business to run, so that's understandable that you couldn't be there.
While we have a lull in data coming in here, we can talk about and congratulate all of the unopposed races for the county.
Chris Paul is definitely going to win. He will be a new second district county commissioner. And Dennis ran unopposed, but I did hear that George Hook's got a vote in that race from one of the districts.
David Chambers running in Caryville. Caryville will be getting a new mayor, which Robert Stooksbury is hanging up his term down there. He's had a few terms, I think, and he's moving on. I believe.
And done a fantastic
Yes.
job.
And we will have your Caryville aldermen when the results come in from the election commission. We do have Mariana standing by at the election commission for early voting and the Caryville precincts.
Yeah.
So two of the alderman wards are going to go to unopposed candidates there, Robert Eric Jones and Lloyd Lawson, and then you have one contested race between Pat Donahue and Laura Lynn.
Who gave up that seat, John?
That's Patrick Pinckney's seat.
Oh.
He served his 2 terms, helped a lot of charities. Him and Brandon combined and got a Caryville playground built with a lot of other people helping them out in the community. Brought back Special Olympics, and he's felt like he'd served his due and left Caryville in a better place than it was when he started.
And I will say Patrick does send his regards that he can't be with us. So many of the times viewers know Patrick had a medical incident episode last week that actually placed him in the intensive care unit at Genova North. Thankfully, he is expected to make a full
He
recovery.
is watching tonight the last I looked.
Well, we're going to be calling him here after a while. As soon as we get the last 2 precincts in, we're going to actually have a phone conversation
I
here.
don't know about you. It's strange for me to be here.
Okay, I've got
at
some more
night.
results.
So
Just
we got
so-
more results.
Okay, these are coming from. This is La Follette Middle School. East La Follette.
Okay. East La Follette.
Yes. Johnny Burge, 197.
Big precinct.
I say it was packed when I came by today.
Philip Farmer, 45. Scotty Kitts, 239.
That's Scotty in the second district. He took a commanding lead
Buford
with that.
Prophet, 10. Tyler DeMont, 79. Mike Evans, 121. Mark Hoskins, 115. Wayne Kitts, 172. Jimmy Marlowe, 113. Johnny McDonald, 73. And it has cut off the no's, but we got 297 yeses for the package store. Oh wait, no, we got it. Well, no, it cut it off. So, but we already called the package store. That's pretty much a no-brainer.
Okay, at this point, like I mentioned, Scotty Kitts is the second district guy. He's won county commission offices there many times, and that's the second district. That is La Follette Middle School is where this East La Follette vote takes place. But there's also a very close precinct, obviously, to La Follette Elementary School.
No, that's a different
And that's
one.
also in the second district, so we'll see if Scotty runs strong there. If he does, it will come down to, as Brandon mentioned, how good did Johnny do in early voting?
Right.
And I can't confidently say that Johnny's going to win early voting, but I just have a hunch that he's going to trend better on early voting numbers than he did in election day. I could be wrong.
Like I said, you said that your opponent did well against you in early voting by being able to work the polls. We know Scotty's been. Everybody I've talked to knows Scotty.
Yeah.
Whether you were in his district or in the city of La Follette or not, Scotty still shook your hand and
Right.
slapped you on the back because he's the kind of guy he is.
Well, Johnny's got some ground to make up now because that 239, that's a staggering number.
Yeah, that's big and that close of a race.
I think we
And
saw.
once again, this is also a second district site where Scotty has been the county commissioner for years.
I think we saw a lot of dedication, even with a sign on a billboard on the interstate.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Listen.
you were coming into Campbell County, you knew who was running for La Follette City.
I vote and win. I go up 25W to vote and win. There's Scotty Kitts songs on the way to win.
Yes. Yeah.
La Follette
There's
drivers
some
drive
next
through
to the
there.
interstate on the way
So
into
Scotty,
Caryville.
Scotty covered every angle. You can't get into Campbell County in any direction without seeing a Scotty Kitts sign.
Right.
But
So on the La Follette City Council race here now, pretty good swing there from Wayne Kitts in that East La Follette district there. So he now leads with Mike Evans in a close, well, not so close second, but there's a tight race there for a second between Evans, Hoskins, and Marlowe.
Yeah.
so strongly trending toward Wayne Kitts retaining his seat. And this is to replace Philip Farmer's seat that he vacated to run for mayor between those other guys that Josh just mentioned.
Yeah, looks like Wayne's got. I mean, Wayne, unless something crazy happens in early voting, is going to keep his seat. You know what's interesting? Johnny McDonald, love the guy. Big Johnny McDonald fan. He's a state trooper, retired. He's got a son named Tori, who's my age. Just a great family. And but this is his first time ever running for office. Same thing for Tyler Dumont. Mike Evans has ran before. Mark Hoskins has ran before. Wayne Kitts has served before, of course. And then Jimmy Marlowe, I believe, has ran before as well. So
Brendan knows this. To all these guys, hats off. You really stick your neck out when you run for office.
Yeah.
Any level of office, you really stick your neck out, and you know you got to hope your community supports you. And just because you may lose this race doesn't mean your community didn't support you. It's still, you know, you got votes. Every one of you did. Every one of these guys have people who want them in that office.
Let's see. Somebody's asking that we change that bottom color because it's hard to read.
And you want us to follow down
Let's
interest.
change it all to darker blue here.
and while he's kind of working on that, again, we look pretty confidently package stores are going to go through. I don't know any logical reason why early
It would
votes
be an
would.
extremely strange early voting pattern for them not to go through.
Very.
And to me, you know, I don't drink, I don't do any of that stuff, but if somebody's going to buy it in your town so you get the tax dollars. from it.
Right.
It's crazy to let people drive out of town to get those tax dollars.
I think that economically it could be a great improvement for the city of Foley. And as long as the people who are voting do it right, I think it could be very responsible as well.
And what's interesting, you know, we did have a very, very rare, you know, for the city of Carrollville, we see some uncontested races. That's not odd for Carrollville. It is odd for a county commission seat, though, to be
Yeah.
uncontested.
I mean, this is the county commission seat that Scotty gave up, and Chris Powell stepped into the breach and said, I'll take the job, because no one had really applied for it. And Chris went down there and he did it. He stepped up. Chris, he's big in Little League football and things like that. He's a good guy.
Yep.
So he'll do a good job on the county commission.
I sent him a message and told him to.
And we're currently,
We're waiting on one precinct and early voting right now. Those should be coming in anytime.
I may have East Fall, I'm not sure. Or La Folle Elementary.
That one was supposed to have came to me. I think they went to a different place, but they're pulling in now.
I think this one may be the same. This looks like the same numbers we got from the middle school, the East Fall. So that may be the one you're talking about. The one, the wrong one. So we're waiting on the Fall Elementary School, of course. The big bombshell, early voting,
Yep.
and
And it should be ready. I mean, I have a hard time believing that early voting's not ready yet. I'm kind of shocked,
well,
honestly.
it's honestly
They've not
It
opened the
took
doors yet down there.
it took a long time in the election cycle in August to get early voting out.
Yep.
But this particular election, I was at the election headquarters 4 years ago, and it came very quickly
Yeah.
because it was a strange race at the time. Philip Farmer was way behind after early voting, but apparently a lot of his voters voted at the polls, so he slowly crept up as the precincts came in, and he actually took the city council seat.
My wife Elizabeth is wanting some credit on the broadcast for the change of the color of the bottom there. She said it was giving her a headache, so shit, it must have been giving everybody else a headache too. And I'm supposed to tell everybody that she was right.
She's went above and beyond. She brought us some equipment that Josh forgot. We'll blame everything on Josh because Patrick's not here to blame. So Elizabeth really stepped up for us tonight.
Josh, you do dress a lot nicer than Patrick does.
Yeah,
Could that also be because of your wife, or?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Smart man.
Yeah. Although I would like to get the name of the place where Pat gets all of his Hawaiian shirts from.
It's Pat's Hawaiian Shirts.
Emporium.
Burke's is also
Where?
a great place.
And again, while we're talking about Pat, we got sidetracked a little bit, but there is a GoFundMe out there. It's on the Volunteer Times page as well as all over Facebook. If you're interested in donating $5 or $10, he's going to have some mounting medical bills. However, the Volunteer Times has been kind enough to, all through this illness, continue to pay him until he gets recovered. So his primary income stream's there, but he's going to have medical bills and miss out on his side gigs.
And I will say this, if you don't do GoFundMe, don't pay things online, Brandon will take your donation to Eagle Tire. You can drop it by there.
And give you a receipt.
He will give you a receipt.
But we're all thinking about you, Pat. We love you. We got to get you recovered, and we should have done this from the room of Tenova North. That would have been unique.
I mean, that nurse is really nice to you, but I'm not sure she'd be this nice.
Imagine if we just rolled this in.
Listen, man.
A bunch of fat guys and Isaac just, hey.
He shared the birthday with Patrick, so his nurse did share his birthday.
Yeah.
Wow.
So back to kind of the meat of tonight. You know, it's going to be really strange for a lot of folks if Johnny Birch doesn't pull this off, because Johnny has been such a staple of the city of La Follette as Parks and Rec director for so long.
He served in office for 24 years, as you mentioned, and also been in the city of La Follette. Boy, he has the Parks and Rec director for many years. So, but once again, Scotty has also been in public service for many years too. So,
and the vast majority of people that I know, and these trends tonight kind of show that, but a lot of the folks that I sit down with have been really torn between Johnny and Scotty.
Yeah.
And they see a lot of pros in both. And so many folks said, I just don't know who I'm voting for yet. And we can see how close it is.
This one, as soon as we get it, our workers are heading to that poll now. Kelly Jo may have it just momentarily.
They're there. They're just working their way in there.
They will hang them on the doors, and after that, it's just early voting and sweating it out for the candidates.
Now, I'm not familiar. Is the La Follette Elementary School, is that a big precinct? Are we going to be seeing some big numbers on this one?
It's not as big, I don't think, as the middle school was, but it has decent numbers.
Well, part of the confusion too, Josh, is where we redistricted 4 years ago. You know, the voting patterns are still kind of trending. So, for example, this rec center is very small. In fact, it's where for your county commission, if you're in the 5th district, you vote at the rec center.
This only is just basically West Walden Street and a couple of other streets in the West Walden area, right there across from Shell in downtown La Follette.
Yeah.
So if you remember the county race for 5th district, I want to say the leader in that one's Bob Walden. He only got 11 votes.
Yeah.
Or something like that. It was like 11-5.
Yeah.
So there were only 15, 16 votes cast for that.
But the fact that in a county commission race, you can go to La Follette Rec Center to vote for, Jellicoe folks is kind of unique. So. But,
Okay,
again,
we have La Follette Elementary. I'm sorry. Yes, La Follette Elementary School. All right. Johnny Burge, 25. Philip Farmer, 9. Scotty Kitts, 16. Buford Prophet, 1. Okay, I'm going to have to switch this page. Tyler DeMont, 13. Mike Evans, 13. Mark Hoskins, 21. Wayne Kitts, 17. Jimmy Marlowe, 5. Johnny McDonald, 11. And 22 to permit it, 27 not to permit it. Not enough to shift that.
That was the only one that voted not to.
But we don't know about East La Follette. The number was cut off there, so we got a question mark in there.
That is true.
But
I may
it would
have
have
put that
to
on
be.
East La Follette.
It would have to be a 400 point.
So let's see if I have that.
And I just heard from Chris Paul. I invited him up to come and talk to the voters again. Ran unopposed, great guy, 31 years old. It's great to see so many younger people getting up and serving. On the school board, you've got me. You also have Ryan Cummins. I think Ryan Cummins is 36. A couple of younger people on there. Now in the county commission, you've got Zach Marlowe, who's in his mid-20s. You've got Chris Paul, who's in his very early 30s. So we've got some younger people.
Tyler King is a fairly young.
Tyler King, I think mid to late 30s, 35, 36, something like that. Tyler, don't shoot me if I'm wrong there, but I think about mid 30s.
Tyler King, 25.
Yeah, 25. In fact, Special Olympics does need more funding from the county commission.
But I mean, it's just a cycle that repeats itself. You have a lot of long-serving members of these councils and commissions, and they slowly get replaced by new guys that maybe served 20, 25 years. Not sure if you'll do that on the school board, how long you'll stay. But
don't plan to. I'll tell anybody, all of our candidates here can probably agree with this. Serving is the best feeling. Running for office is the worst feeling.
yeah, so
It's just
really stick your neck out in the right
so taxing. And so again, if you're brave enough to put yourself out there to run for public office, I think everybody should do it once just so you know what it feels like. Because even though I had advised campaigns, I helped people, I door knocked for all the way from city council to president. I thought I knew what it was like, but I just never understood it till you're the guy in
You
the
have
seat.
your skin in the game.
Yeah.
That's when it's big.
Yeah.
Guys, if I could just chime in here real quick, just a second. I just want to thank a few people before I forget them because their work is now done. I want to thank Deborah Vincent, Eli Lawson, Lindsay Lawson, Megan Bedlingham, also Faith Evans, and Brennan Burge for kind of being out there tonight and getting all of these results in, because we could not do this without them, and they have actually made the difference and made all this happen so we could bring this to you so fast. So thank you to those individuals.
Thank you all very much. Did a fantastic job. Faith Evans, she's Isaac's cousin.
Isaac's cousin. That is my cousin, and she is a great person. I hope she's watching us tonight, but if she's not, she has helped us out a lot. So we very much appreciate her.
And I'm sorry, Faith, for having that big misunderstanding, but we'll talk later.
Can we switch to the Paulette City Council here?
Sir.
So, Wayne Kids, I knew that he was going to do well tonight. I thought it would be a little closer, honestly, just because there's so many well-known folks running for council. Again, Wayne's an exceptional, done a great job. I think we can confidently say unless something crazy happens at early voting, I don't see a world in which he loses a 125-point lead here, 125 vote
He
lead.
would have to go all the way down to third place
Yeah.
to lose that.
Right.
And then again, we've got so close between Mike Evans, Mark Hoskins, and Jimmy Marlowe. Who it's so interesting that we've got three right there, so close.
Anybody's game right now. 3 people, 1 seat. And how well did you get your people to come out and vote for you early? That's going to be the key.
And I will say that Jimmy Marlowe, he's run before, and so people kind of got a feel of him the first time. That's kind of like Mike Evans. People got a feel of him a couple times, and now they're like, okay, maybe I can vote for him now. Maybe I feel confident about putting my vote in him. And Jimmy Marlowe, I feel confident to say that he's worked. I know when I wrecked my truck, he was across the street putting a sign up. So it is definitely put in the work.
No pressure at all here, but we just have our newly elected 2nd District County Commissioner, Chris Paul. Chris, you want to come on back here, and we'll cycle somebody out here.
Yeah,
Johnny,
we'll take John's
what's
spot
I'll
there.
cycle out. I'm kind of wide.
So folks, this is Chris Paul, longtime friend. Chris, congratulations. You had a hard competition tonight.
Oh yeah, big time competition.
So Chris, we're here with the Volunteer Times. Again, we've been talking good things about you, believe it or not. You can make a donation to us later for those good words. But man, congrats. You are now going to be the 2nd youngest member of the County Commission. I think there's now 3 millennials on the County Commission, which is pretty cool. So hopefully you and Zach and Tyler King can kind of caucus together. But talk to us a little bit about County Commission, what your thoughts are, what inspired you to run. We might have to cut you off if early voting numbers pop up. But please go ahead and talk to our viewers here. We've got several hundred people watching.
Well, I'm a big time talker, so I can take a lot of times to cut me off. Well, first of all, I think there's a lot of great people on the commission, so I'm excited to get to learn from some of them, especially some people I grew up admiring. Obviously Jack being one of our school teachers and the coach. But ultimately, first and foremost, though, I just want to thank the Lord for the opportunity. The biggest thing is, I'm blessed. I believe God loves Campbell County. I love Campbell County, so I'm excited to get to serve the people that I grew up with. And well, like me and you spoke about, you were the number one person. I've always wanted to get into this. And so you were the person that I realized when you run that I could also do it.
That's flattering. Seriously, thank you.
Well, when we talked about it, it's like at what age do you get taken serious, to the older generation, because you always still feel like a kid, and but life goes by fast.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest things was, as a police officer, serving the community, I realized that I can only affect change so much in that role, and so I wanted to take it to the next level. The Lord blessed me with this opportunity abundantly. I didn't realize it would be unopposed, and so, but my biggest thing is I just want the Lord to use me as an instrument for whatever Campbell County needs me to be. Not only for the 2nd District, and the youth and the seniors, but the whole county.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited about being part of the team at the commission and working forward of seeing that what we can affect here with change in a positive way.
For sure.
And just go from there. I've got a lot of learning, but I'm ready to roll my sleeves up and get to work. And so we'll see what the future holds, but I believe it's bright.
Well, I'm excited for you. I had Chris scared for a little bit at first. We sat down for, I don't know, probably an hour and a half and talked politics. And I said, man, during my campaign, we had to do this and I spent this and we did this. And you could just see Chris, kind of get a little white. And he's like, all right, I'm ready to do it. And then deadline to turn in petitions come, and Chris is the only one that turned it in, thankfully. Well, whether you were the only one or not, you're going to win. We're going to do whatever it took to knock how many ever doors it takes. But I'm glad to see you there. Is there somebody on the commission that you're kind of like most looking forward to serve with, or most excited to get to work hand in hand with, or not sure yet?
Well, I'm really looking forward to working with obviously the mailman.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the mailman, but I'm excited to serve the 2nd District along the mailman and Beverly Hall. Two of the best. So I'm really looking forward to that. But if I had to pick one, the mailman's my guy. So
well, he's just such an easy guy to work with. He knows the community so well. He does so much for the community. I mean, he's just really kind of an exemplary commissioner.
Oh yeah, well, and then growing up, looking up to him, we grew up with Devin.
Yeah.
And so, heck, I remember raiding his fridge in high school. Me and Devin getting pizza rolls, playing video games. So, it's gonna be really awesome to serve alongside of him in this capacity. Like I said, and all the other commissioners, serve alongside them in this capacity after growing up. Looking up to them. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's exciting.
Now, Isaac, here in a few years, so Chris and I, Campbell County High School, class of 2012. So here in a few years, you're probably going to be, up here with some of your peers. So you got any questions for Chris? Anything you want to ask him? Embarrassing questions are valid too.
Oh, are they? Okay. Well, I would like to say it's nice to meet you, Chris. And anybody on the commission for the last 8 years probably would say that they have seen my face a lot. So I hope you look forward to seeing my face speaking in front of you.
Isaac's one of these weird guys who just shows up at the commission just to watch.
Yeah,
so.
I just like to learn a little bit, But anyways, I would like to congratulate you, and I'd like to tell you, Senator Yeager once told me and Brandon one time, you run unopposed or you run scared. And although you run unopposed, it was your first time, so did you feel scared, or were you just very confident going into it?
Well, I was really nervous. Brandon hit earlier that, until you really, him and John both, until you really put yourself out there, it's a totally different feeling. When I was at home and officially announced that I was running, I was sick in my stomach. I was a nervous wreck. I was like, oh God, what have I done? Because I didn't know what people would think. It's like, am I going to get taken serious? What people are going to think about me? Like, who am I to think that I can do something? And then, but I settled down and realized that I had a very wise man tell me, God puts who He wants where. And so the Lord's already got picked out who He wants in that seat. You just got to do the best you can, and what's meant to be will be. And so I found a lot of comfort in that, and knowing that ultimately I just want Him to use me as an instrument, and obviously He's seen fit in this capacity. I've been told the mustache scared off my opponents. Maybe not,
I need to work on mine. Isaac, can you work on your
well, maybe in
we
about
won't
10
talk
to
about
15
that.
years.
But Chris, any final words to say for the Times viewers?
I'm thankful for this opportunity. Like, I run unopposed. I really wanted an opponent. I really wanted to feel like I earned the people's vote. But it played out. I couldn't control that. But I'll try to. I'm going to do my best to prove that over the next 2 years that, regardless that I run unopposed, I was still the right man for the job, and that I'm going to put the citizens of Campbell County first and foremost in my brain to and do whatever I can to benefit this place, because I love Campbell County. Been here my whole life, going to continue. I'm raising my family here, and so I want to see this place prosper, and I really believe it has amazing potential. And so our generation, I believe we can really learn from the people ahead of us, and then we can just take it to the next level.
Brother, Good luck. Proud of you. Love you, man. And look forward to the school board and county commission working together better than ever.
Absolutely. Yeah, you did put me on the spot. Me and the mailman, we were down at Cedar Hill when you texted me. And
I said, get up here.
yeah, I know. And I looked at Dwayne and I said, I've never been in front of a live camera in my life. I don't know if I could do it, you know.
Yeah.
It's,
Hey, you did wonderful. Congratulations, man.
Thank you,
Thanks
guys.
for being with us, and go hit all the other news stations and tell all the voters that are listening there how excited you are to serve. So,
absolutely.
see you, brother. Congratulations, guys. That was Chris Paul, your newest county commissioner-elect, representing the 2nd District. Big shoes to fill as he's taking Scotty Kitz's seat. So,
Chris will have no problem with this because he's already did 2 of the 3 hardest jobs you can do.
Yeah.
He's been a police officer and he coached little kids.
Yeah.
Football. Those are tough.
and he was in the military.
Yeah,
So,
he did it all. But coaching those kids, coaching those little kids, if you can round those up, you can do anything.
yeah, Josh, you got some.
I was just going to say, I don't know if you guys want to talk about the presidential race or not, but Poly Market is now giving Trump a 71.1% chance to win
Great.
the election.
You know, and for conservatives like me, that's great news. You know, I think what's most important when we're talking about national discourse and politics in general is no matter who wins, tomorrow's going to be okay. You know, I just like Chris was talking about, I have my faith in a Savior who tells me that every day is going to be okay, right? And so I'm confident, you know, this rhetoric that we have in politics where just because somebody has a different ideology than you do, that they're the enemy, I think that's really dangerous to our discourse. I miss the era of statesmen. You know, I miss the era of men like Lamar Alexander, candidly. And we're just in a whole different world of politics. But I am excited as a conservative that Donald Trump. But we also have to keep in mind that what do they call it? The red mirage and the blue wave. You know, so many of these early voting precincts throughout the United States are going to favor a Republican candidate like Donald Trump. And the main reason that happens is because smaller, more rural communities are typically more conservative, where big cities are more liberal. So those smaller communities can get their votes counted and in quicker, where major cities, say like Nashville, are going to take a lot longer to report their results than city council here in La Follette. So
And
something to keep in mind.
It should be mentioned that this is Poly Market,
Right.
which is a betting site.
Yes.
And, this is Vegas making the odds on him to win. So with the early numbers coming in, that's a pretty, because before the polls were closed, it was at like 59-41.
Yeah.
You know, that's a pretty big swing. So we haven't been watching, but something big must have happened.
We are still waiting on early voting. Mariana's down there. She's gotten in now into the precinct, and she's been informed that the early votes are still being tallied, and we're going to get to you as quickly as possible. And as soon as those come in, we're going to tell you who your new mayor is and who your new city council members are, and hopefully your new Caryville alderman.
Guys, if there is a few down minutes, actually, I probably won't even take but one, but I do need to put something out real quick.
Yes, Jennifer Richardson, I am calling you out.
Yes, she is. Okay. I do want to make one quick phone call here.
And one thing I will
I'm gonna
say,
let
even though we
you
don't
do it.
have the numbers from the Caryville alderman seat, can we tab to that real quick?
Certainly.
From my understanding, and John, you may know more, I know that Laura Rodner is a former city employee, but I also think Pat Donahue is a former city employee.
That would be more of a Pat question, unfortunately. It's not
We need
here, but
Pat.
I think both of them are former city employees.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it.
Yeah, I don't know Pat Donahue. I've never met her. I've heard really great things about her. I know Laura Rodner, worked with her. She's a great customer of mine. I think highly of her. So from what I've heard from folks in Caryville, this is going to be a really exciting race. I will say I saw a couple straw polls out in the community, and it had these two neck and neck. So I'll be curious if
All
that.
these races are often.
Chance
I mean,
here,
it's-
okay.
how many neighbors you know?
And I think our plan for this race is to just get the early voting numbers from the commission. So if it's close,
The commission should have all the numbers.
All
ready
right,
to go in
guys,
there.
I have the Pat on here. Watch, Pat, if we have to go really quick, it's because I got the totals from early voting, okay?
Myself, never ever did I have to do election coverage from an intensive care unit on my bingo card.
Well, we're just glad you're able to be with us at all, even if it is by phone, Pat.
The two ladies that ran for my seat, Pat Donahue, a long time full-time city employees, former city reporter. Laura, also a long-time employee.
Okay.
So both of them know the city.
Well, you did a lot of good work there, Pat, in your time, and I know that you know everyone in that city. And I know they're going to have some big shoes to fill.
Listen, I knew I was done when we came to Red on Carroll Cares.
Well, you served well.
I'm done. Did 2 terms. Never ever want to be a lifer.
Well, it takes somebody that's really responsible and very selfless to do that. And everybody commends you for knowing when you've given your all, and now you're ready to step over and let someone else kind of come in and take a swing at it.
Very confident in David Chambers. I feel David will do a magnificent job as mayor.
Wonderful.
He's got big shoes to fill with Bobby being there for a long time, so it's glad that you have confidence in him. Carroll's been running pretty smoothly the last few years. Hopefully that continues.
If I didn't have confidence, I'd have ran myself.
Pat, we were talking earlier about your health. I know you had a bunch of us scared, and I was telling John earlier, you may have heard, but it doesn't feel right being here without you. So we're going to need you to get healthy real quick.
Hey, I'll be back by the Christmas break.
Well, hopefully much before that, Pat.
I don't think we'll have a lot of broadcasts before that.
True.
We may have one, just a special live broadcast. That's homecoming.
I fussed at Kelly Jo for not doing this live from your hospital room. Really, if she was a boss that really cared, we would have just set all this up in the intensive care unit and hired some bodyguards to stand outside the door to make sure they didn't break it up.
I'm not a slacker, I promise. I promise.
But Pat, any final words to say to the viewers here on the Times tonight?
Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the thoughts and prayers. The folks that have visited. The folks that have donated my GoFundMe. You all made me realize I actually am loved. And that means a lot.
Well, you absolutely are, Pat. I feel like I'm this floating head behind this thing talking here, but
Kelly Jo, you want to come?
well, I
in
ain't gonna
while
have
we're waiting
to.
on some
I need to say
more results?
something because and I'm going to be waiting on the results, but I was not planning on getting on here tonight. Clearly from my Rolling Stones T-shirt, but we could not do this without Patrick. For those of you that are watching, John, make sure that that's straight over there, pretty close. Patrick was the very first one when I was going to bring the Times back who just jumped in. He went all in, and he has done everything and anything that I asked him to do. And Pat, just like Brandon has said, he's become a member of our family. We share Christmases and Thanksgivings and Easter Sundays together now, and my family looks for him in everything that we do. It's hard to separate, work from life, and we just, we really love you, and you did give us quite a scare, and like Thomasina said, we want to get you better so we can kill you. Because that was very scary, and we're glad that you're better, and I can never say enough about all the people that have given. And there's some people that don't give digitally, and they've called and asked me to come by and pick up a check or something, just like Brandon had mentioned earlier. You can even drop that off by Eagle Pro Tires. It will be greatly appreciated, and it will really help someone very deserving out. But I just wanted to...
I'll be out of ICU as soon as the room opens upstairs.
Okay, good. And if you couldn't hear that, he said he was going to be out of a room as soon as ICU open, as soon as they get a room open and available for him. But we, of course, wish you the best, Pat. We'll be over there to see you again soon. And, Brandon's right. The stream just isn't the same, really, without you. But I just want the folks at home to know how important you are to this mission and to this team. And, you've been right there to make the Volunteer Times what it is, and it's no more mine than it belongs to really you and John. So I love you dearly, and we're just glad you're okay, and thank you for chiming on here with us. Okay, Pat?
I'm always here.
Okay, honey. All right, we're gonna let you go. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, bye-bye. Okay.
That may be the only time in Tom's history that we've got Pat to be quiet. I'm just kidding. But Pat, we do love you. And again, folks, link to the GoFundMe. Maybe we can get somebody to post it in the comments of this as well. Anything we can do to help Pat. He's always the first in this community to step up and help. And to so many of us, he's a little brother, or he's an uncle figure, or etc. So, but guys, tonight, again, let's go back through some of these numbers. What is going to be a really, really close La Follette City Mayor race. We've got Johnny Burge, a longtime school board member who gave up his school board seat, thankfully, to run for city mayor. Gave up and retired from being the city's Parks and Recs director for many years. 422 votes. We've got Philip Farmer right now, third place, 96 votes. He gave up his city council seat that folks are vying for tonight, that he would have had to have run for again. 96 votes. Next, Scotty Kitts. Scotty and Johnny being what many would consider the two front runners in this race. 453 votes, so currently leading the pack. All going to come down tonight, Times viewers, to our early voting numbers. Buford Prophet, wonderful guy. I think very highly of him, coming in last right now with 20 votes. So again, first place, Scotty Kitts. Second, Johnny Burge. A distant third, Philip Farmer, and a very distant fourth, Buford T. Prophet. Can we go to the city council? Yeah. And again, we're looking at city council. You can see all of our precincts, 6 different candidates, 4 of which have ran for office before, 2 of which never have. So first place right now, Wayne Kitts, who is an incumbent. So he has served on the city council and is running to keep his seat for 4 more years. He is leading the pack right now, 349 votes. It would take something very odd in early voting to happen for him to go from first place to third place. Again, Times viewers, top 2 vote getters are going to serve on your city council. They're going to join, whoever the 2 are going to join my good friends Chuck Queener and Stephanie Grimm Solomon. Isaac, you have any thoughts about some of these other races going on here, or some of these other numbers?
You know, I would like to say that this is going to be a close race. You see, with the 349 from Wayne, I think we're confident that he will be one of your new councilmen, or returning as councilman.
Yep.
And then, Mark, I think people were confident with what Mark had done with his time on the city council. But I think, again, not to be repeating myself, but I think people are really getting confident about Mike. And they're getting confident about putting their vote in Mike. I know Mike personally and his wife, they're great people. And I think that people are really getting confident in saying, I'm going to put my vote in Mike Evans and trust him with it.
Yeah, and Mike's worked hard. In fact, I think that 2 years ago, and I'm going to have the numbers wrong, but it's something like 13 votes separated him and the second place winner. The first place winner 2 years ago was Stephanie Grimm Solomon. The second place winner was Chuck Queener. In fact, I was here doing this, again, knowing Chuck very well, texted him and thought he had lost. And then we got those early voting numbers and some things really shifted. And he ended up besting Mike by about 13 votes. And they've gone on to be very good friends and cordial with one another. And I asked Chuck at one point, I said, Chuck, who do you want to serve with most out of these 6 folks? And he said, Brandon, he said, they'd all be great to work with. And I really do echo that, all of these folks. And then again, in third place, we've got Mark Hoskins. Mark, former councilman. A lot of folks know Mark. Fourth, Jimmy Marlowe. 5th, Johnny McDonald, and 6th, Tyler Dumont. So 2 folks that have never ran for office before are bringing up the end trails here.
And you know, Tyler Dumont, younger,
Yep.
but putting his foot out there. That's what it's all about. I hope to put my foot out there one day, and I know, Brandon, you put yours out there.
Yeah,
and
scary.
It's just, but you was not running against 5 other people that were very tenured and popular.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. Thankfully, in my race, both me and my opponent had never ran for public office before, and so we were kind of on an even playing field in that
Right.
respect. Josh, what are your thoughts on this?
Early voting is going to be, I can't stress that enough. We could see, Mike Evans, we could see Mark Hoskins. That's a 22 vote differential right there. And Jimmy Marlowe's not far behind it, 24 votes. 26 votes. So depending on who worked the early voting, early voting. I think that's going to tell the tale. Even if you look over here at the mayor's race, 453 to 422.
31 votes.
Yeah, and Brandon, you were saying that you feel like Johnny Burge voters are going to be early voters. So we could have a swing here.
Again,
I'm
I
anxious to get those numbers.
I have no logic to describe why I think that. I can't tell you any logic that makes me think that Johnny's going to outperform his performance on election day in early voting. Nothing at all. I can't tell you any logical reason. It's just a feeling, and I'm probably wrong. Because it seems like most of the time, even though I feel like I know the candidates well, I don't get most races right. So, I guess just like the talking heads online or meteorologists on the Weather Channel, they seem to get a bunch of stuff wrong. So I don't mind to admit when I'm wrong.
It's so tight in both of these races that I almost want to black the screen when we enter the early voting.
Yeah.
And then turn it off.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking. In my race, the first that you all reported on here at the Volunteer Times, again, I wasn't here. The very first precinct, I actually lost by 2 votes. Now, I won it total when you counted in the early voting, but I lost on election day by 2 votes. And I went back and I was watching the stream, and you could see poor Isaac's face just go white. Again, thankfully, I was able to pull that off. But Randy gets a really great opponent in my race. Had a very clean race. Lots of hard work. My opponent worked really hard. I worked really hard. So, lots of these folks put lots of time, effort, energy, and a lot of people don't realize the money that goes into this thing. I mean, total, and I had a bunch of great donors, but I spent about $15,000 on my school board race. These mayoral candidates are spending $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 to run for office, not counting all the time they spent knocking doors, etc. Can we talk about package stores for a second?
Absolutely.
Now, folks, from my understanding, the way that I understand this is going to happen, so package stores are going to go through. We're going to have package stores in the city of La Follette. What happened in Caryville, and John, you may want to correct me if I'm wrong, a little before my time, but what it actually happened in Caryville is it's put to a referendum, it was approved, then it goes to the council, and the council gets to decide some ways to kind of legislate and restrict that. And they ultimately made the decision that there could be 2 package stores in the town of Caryville, one at the exit and one at the 141. So that's why we have 2. And I think there may have even been some talk about giving some preference to folks that lived in the municipality, etc. So I'll be curious to see if this will mean that the city of La Follette, anybody can open a package store and there could be 30 of them, or if the city of La Follette says, oh no, you're going to have 2 and they've got to be on kind of the more Jacksboro side and more towards the Food Line side. I'll be really curious to see how that shakes out.
Elizabeth said that she thought that with the new Duncan AT&T building, there's 2 spots right there for a La Follette package store. She said she wouldn't be surprised to see one going there.
Yeah. Now, I will tell you, just from a personal perspective, with package stores coming to the city of La Follette, whether you like it or not, I would personally like to see those be standalone locations. Yeah. I don't know. I know there's a lot of folks in the community that may not feel comfortable going in and getting their donuts and walking out, and somebody walking next door and getting bourbon. I mean, I guess you could put bourbon in your Dunkin' Donuts coffee and then talk on your AT&T cell phone. But personally, I would like to see those be standalone locations. And even if I were on the city council, I think that I may even make that a requirement, because again, I think they can kind of legislate and craft that it would have to be a standalone type building. Again, I just don't know how I'd feel getting my coffee, taking my kids in to buy a sprinkled donut for their birthday and getting a handle of vodka next door. I may be the weird one on that, but it's going to be interesting. And here's what's really neat, and I don't know any logic of who was behind it or what happened, but there were signs put out in town advocating and encouraging people to vote yes on package stores, and it was sponsored by something like Norris Lake Liquors LLC or something like that. So what it appears is some smart entrepreneur who wants to bring package stores to the city of La Follette not only is just sitting around waiting, they actually went out and talked to people and put up signs, and they put the effort in, and you can see that effort paid off.
17-year-old me, I was working in the pharmacy, and I asked somebody who was working there, I said, are we going to get like a UPS store? Like, what's coming in here that everybody's voting on? They're like, no, it's a liquor store. And I was like, wow, well, either way, that's 2 great options. Whether it's a liquor store or a UPS store.
Package stores may have a different meaning when you're 17 than when you're 30.
Yeah.
So stay away from the package stores for a long time.
No problem.
And guys, we are just kind of killing time right now, waiting for early voting. can we go back to the Follett City Council, let our viewers kind of see some of those numbers?
Yep, you can kind of see our top 3 vote getters before the early voting comes in, with the number 1 vote getter at the moment being Wayne Kitts, followed by Mike Evans, and then closely from that, Mark Hoskins, and Jimmy Marlowe not too far behind him. And, like we said earlier, Jimmy running before and Mike running before, I think people are getting confident in them now, and they're learning who they are.
So if you take the leader out, you can see how close second place is. It's just really, really tight right there.
Yeah, very tight.
Early voting, man. I'm so excited to get those in.
Guys, while it's quiet, listen, we have a few minutes while we're waiting on Mariana Wooden to send the info from early voting. If you have followed the Times at all over the last couple of weeks, you have seen this trip to New York pop up on your news feed probably multiple times. But I just want to throw out here, and it's a little off subject, but if I don't say it now while I've got a big audience on here, we may miss the opportunity. We have filled up 3 buses to capacity, and there are still people wanting more, and I'm liable to push over into a 4th bus. What I need you to do, there's probably 20 people that's asked to get on that 3rd bus, and we just not had the room. But what I'm asking you to do now, if you are in the audience and you're watching, message the Times. Just send us a direct inbox and say, hey, I would go if there is a 4th bus, and here's how many seats I would need. That would just give me a guesstimation on how to pursue, whether or not to get a 4th bus. And I need to probably make that decision within the next 48 hours. So if you are out there, and I know you all are in the audience because all of our phones and inboxes have blown up on this, please let me know if that's something that you all are wanting to move forward with. No, it's a little off subject, but we had a lull in time there, and I thought I'd go ahead and take that opportunity to put that out there. So thank you for those that have already signed up. There you go. Hand it back.
Yeah, if we're looking at the comments here, I think I'm getting grilled a little bit over not knowing what a package store is, but it'll be okay. You learn something there.
You sure do know what agriculture is.
I do know what agriculture is, and shout out to all of my friends from across the state of Tennessee who are watching me tonight. Great to see y'all in here.
But guys, so again, let's just kind of keep recapping this. Again, La Follette City Council, Wayne Kitts has what I would call a commanding lead, over 100 votes right now. First place. Early voting could theoretically swing this. We don't anticipate that happening. No trend or logic would predict that, but as we all know, politics isn't always logical. So, however,
sorry.
Gosh, Josh. Just kidding. So, again, first place, Wayne Kitts. Right now, really hot. I'm comfortable saying Wayne Kitts is going to remain on the city council. Again, we'll have an official referendum on that here in just a few minutes. But second place, way too close to call between Mike Evans, Mark Hoskins, and Jimmy Marlowe. If I was one of these 3 guys, I could not be more nervous, wondering if you're going to make this or not. The only time you could probably be more nervous is if you were one of the 2 lead candidates for La Follette mayor.
Yeah. I bet Johnny and Scotty are shaking in their boots right now, waiting on these early votes.
I would be a mess. I'll tell you, the most stressful part
Okay, yeah, we're getting very close to early voting. They're about to bring them out.
Great.
So we should be winding down.
Anybody have any idea what the voting population for La Follette is?
The total population?
The voting population.
You've got, I think, roughly 8,000 citizens in the city of La Follette. You're going to have out of that probably 3,800 registered voters, and then you just keep bringing that down.
Yeah.
But again, this is so strange because we're seeing such good voter turnout throughout early voting. Again, we're looking at likely historic or very near historic turnout for early voting. So we got to see if that carries on through election day. It'll be interesting to see just, is it the council race? Is it the mayoral race? Is it the liquor referendum? Is it the presidential race that's putting people out? And everybody's got their own reason for voting.
So my reason for asking that question was we've got 31-point spread between Scotty Kitts and Johnny Burge. And if you didn't make it to the polls and you had a really strong opinion on this, 31 votes.
Right.
These are really, really tight races, and I think the trend over the last several election cycles has been higher and higher voter turnout. I think people are finally learning what our parents and grandparents told us: get out and vote. That's the only way that we can.
And guys, sorry to interrupt. We've got David Chambers, who just tried to call in. We're going to call him back with the understanding that if early voting numbers come in, David, we got to hang up. We'll talk to you in a few. So, not going to surprise him and put him right on speakerphone. Hey David, it's Brandon Johnson. Is it all right if I put you on speakerphone? I'm here live with the Volunteer Times. All right. Mayor-elect Chambers, I got you on speakerphone. The voters here, we've got several hundred people watching here on the Volunteer Times live stream. What would you like to say to the folks?
Excuse me. First, I'd like to thank the voters in Caryville, and then just overall, everyone that got down and voted in all the races, the Follett, the national races. It was great to see people turn out, and that's the way that it should be, is people speaking their voices. So yes, thanks to the complimentary vote from the town of Caryville, and look forward to going in a couple of weeks and getting started on some projects.
Wonderful. And David, we're going to keep chatting. However, I will tell you, we may have to be very rude and hang up if early voting numbers come in here, because I'm sure you're probably watching just like we are. As a very contentious race going on for some City of La Follette council seats and the mayoral race. So if we have to cut you off, please accept my apologies.
No worries.
Now, David, can you kind of talk? Your daughter Claire and I were talking at one point, and she said, "Yeah, I think my dad was the vice president of Caryville." And I said, "Claire, I think you mean vice mayor." But you've served the city of Caryville before. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit, and what made you want to take a step back, and what makes you want to serve again now?
Yeah, this is my third tour of duty.
Wow.
In town, actually. I served in the early 90s. I don't know, it's 4 or 6 years. It's been a long time ago. It was 30 years ago. And then in the early 2000s, I think I was on for 4 years, give or take. We had 2-year terms back then. And we changed that when we were very tight on funding to where we went to 4-year terms. But to answer your question, I was alderman, was the vice mayor. Times were a little tougher back then to make budget. The town's in much better shape financially now than it used to be. And to answer your second part of your question, I'm close to finishing up a 37-year career with UPS and finishing up here in the next couple of months. I was approached by some folks on the council, some of the folks in the community that knew that I'd served before, and asked me if I would consider it. I gave it some thought and talked to my wife about it. Decided to give this a try again. We'll see how it goes. If I go the full 4 years, or if I go past that, I don't know yet. I'm just try to start with next week and go from there.
For sure. Well, I'm excited that you're taking this position, David. Probably out of anybody in our community who's not on the council, I've probably worked with members on the council more than just about anybody, and gotten to know them and got to know Mayor Stooksbury really well. And wow, what a wonderful, wonderful council, or I should say Board of Aldermen technically, but what a great group you have to work with. Can you talk anything about kind of Mayor Stooksbury's legacy? So many of us were sad to see him leave, but then excited to see you step up. Can you kind of talk about his legacy a little bit? Because I know that you guys are friends.
Yes. Oh gosh, I've known Bobby since the early 80s when I was a volunteer fireman, and Bobby was also. Here's what I would sum up his legacy, is you'll not find a person that cares about his community any more than Bobby Stooksbury, because he served his community from the standpoint of the fire department, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning and going on an accident or a fire that nobody cared in the town, that he was getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go work an accident and help someone. So that's how I would sum up his legacy, is that no one cares, me included, and I love this town and I've been here all my life, as much as Bobby Stooksbury. So hats off to him for the time that he served both as a mayor and as a fireman and fire chief for several years.
Yeah, no, I got, like I said, I got to work with him at length, and what an incredible legacy he's going to leave. What a great mayor. Guys, y'all have anything? We're also here live with our high school correspondent, Isaac Jones, and our very out of high school correspondent, Josh Griffin. Guys, do y'all have anything to ask of the mayor-elect of Caryville?
Mr. Chambers, I would just like to say that, working with your wife from the career and technical education standpoint, and then your daughter Claire, when I was an office assistant in middle school, she would come into your wife's office, and I just like to say you have a great family, and although I don't know you that well, I hope to get to know you, being close to the city of Caryville there. So I'm excited for your term coming up.
Well, thank you for that. I was outside so that you guys wouldn't hear dogs bark. I'm walking back in right now, and I'm standing in front of my wife right now, and that's what my new identity is known as Tracy's husband. Everyone knows me as who I am. Is they know me as Tracy's husband, so I'll pass that along to her.
Ask Tracy if she's got a statement as the new first lady of the town of Caryville.
Well, here, hang on a second. I'll move off of these AirPods and move to speaker, and you guys can answer.
I do have early voting.
Oh, Tracy, David, you guys are gonna have to hold on for just a minute. We've got early voting numbers, so we'll give you all a call back here momentarily. She's saved by the bell.
Okay. Mayor, City of La Follette. Absentee voting, 43. Early voting, 451 for Johnny Burge.
It looks like Marianne is putting them in.
Oh, Mary Ann putting them in.
Yep. I'm going to let her do her thing.
Scotty Kitts, 541 and 19. So Scotty Kitts is one mayor of La Follette.
Scotty Kitts is your new mayor of the city of La Follette. Congratulations, Mayor Kitts. Congratulations. Johnny, Philip, Buford, thank you all for putting yourselves out there. This is an exciting time. We'll go ahead and see if we can get Scotty on the phone or if he plans to come up here.
City Council, Wayne Kitts, 466. Absentee, 46.
I'm gonna see if Marianne starts putting those in before I get in there.
I can tell her to stop.
Early voting City Council,
Can you start with Tyler Dumont?
Tyler Dumont, absentee 10. Early voting 135. So 145 total votes.
45.
Mike Evans, absentee 20. 222 early votes. So 242 total.
42.
Mark Hoskins, 17 absentee, 340 early votes, so 357. I'm going to do some math right here with Isaac. Absentee, Wayne Kitts, 46, early voting, 466. So Isaac, that's 505 votes.
512.
I'm still in high school, guys.
You're the more recent math student, Isaac. Absentee, Jimmy Marlowe, 15. Early voting, 191. So that's 206 total. Johnny McDonald, absentee, 20. Early voting, 328. 348 total.
Wow.
So what we can see
Wow.
here is by a large margin, Wayne Kitts has took first place in the city council race for the city of La Follette.
And early voting, Johnny McDonald pulled into a really
Yeah.
tight race for a second there, but it looks like it's going to be Wayne Kitts and Mark Hoskins.
And two people that have served on the city council before, Wayne Kitts and Mark Hoskins. So congratulations to them. Hats off to everybody else on that as well.
Do we have early voting for the package?
The
right?
package, 28 absentee, 621 early, so 649 votes. Yes.
Wayne Kitts and Mark Hoskins.
Your no votes, 50 and 490, so 540 total no's on that.
So it looks like package stores are coming to La Follette.
Package stores will be coming to La Follette.
We can go to Carroll Alderman. The contested race, and this will probably speak volumes, but maybe not necessarily speak at all, but this will speak volumes probably about it. Pat Russell Donahue, 15 absentee, 248 early, so 263 total votes from early voting for Pat. Or Ellison Ridner, 1 absentee vote, 112 early votes, so 113 total votes.
So in the city of Caryville, and Pat they'll be getting a new Pat. They're retiring a Pat and they're getting a new Pat. So congratulations, Pat Russell Donahue, who is a former employee of the city of Caryville. Congratulations to you, and hats off to Laura Reiner on
There's
this.
a 69-31 margin. It would take a very unusual swing in the precincts in Caryville for that to change. We will try to get those total for you if Mary Ann's still at the election commission.
So how about that early voting? Mike Evans is in a strong second place, ends up dropping all the way to fourth, with Mark Hoskins pulling ahead and Johnny McDonald.
Yeah, Johnny McDonald pulling out like that was
348 in the early voting.
Yes.
My prediction, personal prediction going into this was that I thought Wayne Kitts and Johnny McDonald were going to be the two, but I knew that Mike and Mark would be in there tied as well. But yeah, I cannot, I'm a little shocked that Wayne had such a commanding lead. Not shocked because Wayne's not a great guy. That's not my point. He served well. He served faithfully. But just shocked at how commanding it was in such a large race. So it looks like out of most folks' vote, Wayne was their number one choice.
Going back to mayor, if you want to, for completion's sake, Philip Farmer got 175 combined total early and absentee votes. Buford Crawford got 30 combined total absentee and early votes.
Look at Scotty Gibbs pulling off over 1,000 votes in the city of La Follette. No surprise to him or Johnny Burge pulling off that many votes.
Talk about a tight race. Less than
Yeah.
100 votes deciding it. Roughly 10%.
Scotty had a big day on early voting, bigger than
Yeah.
Johnny, so maybe
Yeah.
And you've seen
if
Scotty-
you ever run again for any other office, you better get down there.
Yeah.
Now, before I say anything, I'm a little upset, Isaac. Your package store dilemma. You had a 37-year veteran of UPS on the phone with you.
I know.
And that's
I
not
didn't
a
ask
package
him
store.
about it. I'm so
Why
sorry.
did you mess that up?
All right.
But congratulations, Scotty. Congratulations, Mark Hoskins and Wayne Kitts. And assuming that Pat holds on in the actual polling locations, it would be a lot of ground to make up. For her not to, congratulations, Pat, as well, and all the people who ran unopposed. You've got a remade local city government in two places to some extent, so hopefully they have a good 4 years.
And hats off to everybody that has put their foot out there. And we were talking about voters getting out and vote earlier, and I think that a lot of the thing with getting voters out is to do with the candidates. If the candidates put themselves out there and encourage you to vote, you're more likely to vote. Whereas if you just sit at home and sit back, they're not going to get out and vote.
We do already have a bold statement, John. Mr. George Hooks has already declared he's running for mayor in 4 years. So
Listen, he's getting votes in all these different races.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to see him get some mayoral votes.
But yeah, so incredibly close race here for mayor. Again, just little difference could have made. A few more votes here, taken away from here, could have made all the difference. Can we go back to city council? Again, everybody had a very respectable showing. Even coming up last, Tyler Dumont with 293. 293 folks in this city that put their
I
confidence
will
in
say
it.
this, from some of the last few elections, some of those bottom people in the city council races would get 15, 20 votes.
Yeah.
So that was a great show on the talent.
Kelly Jo, have you heard from any candidates that may want to hop on
Actually,
here?
I will.
Just tried to call
Scotty
Scotty.
was going to come back. Yeah,
But
I'd say
his-
Scotty is dancing around. Let's see. Let me call him one more time.
Which office would you want to see George Hooks in, Isaac?
George Hooks,
President.
Yeah, I mean, I'm running for president 2048, so as long as he picks a different year.
Hopefully I'm still allowed to vote for you.
Yeah, I hope everybody is. Yeah, but yeah, Jones Brown
You
2048.
can never launch your campaign too early.
That's right. That's right. We're working on the ticket right now.
I think Scotty's phone has died.
Well, we'll let you know if we can get a hold of Scotty or any of the other candidates who, and if you're a candidate in Washington and wish to call in or come by, just let Kelly Jo know. And we will welcome you on to, give a little statement, thank the people if that's what you wish to do. Obviously, y'all, how many total votes was that in McFarland? A couple of thousand, 3,000 almost?
Well, so for
Can we go to mayor?
Yeah, you'd have to go to mayor because the city council, they get to vote for 2. So there's definitely 2,000, about 2,500.
2250.
Wow, you're faster than me.
Isaac, are you not taking maths at all this year?
I'm in probability and statistics. It's a good class, great class. So,
However, if it's like cows or chickens, he's a lot quicker to add them up.
Yeah.
if you tell me there was like 916 cows and 1,013
Should we be going by a
cows.
dozen eggs at a time? or
Yeah,
something like
12 dozen. Yeah, that'd work too.
Yeah, 2,250 total votes cast for mayor. That's not counting any potential write-ins or left blank. But so let's see.
So it's a pretty good turnout.
So that means Johnny Burge got roughly 40% of the vote. Philip Farmer with 12% of the vote. Scotty Kitts with 45% of the vote. And Buford Profit with 2% of the vote.
Brandon is texting a candidate. He was not using calculator on his phone to come up with it.
Yeah, Isaac, I would be embarrassed to use a calculator
Yeah, me
online.
too.
Sell tires all day long. You can quickly come up with figures in your head.
I can percentage like milk and stuff.
Yeah, 2% versus 1%.
Yeah, dairy
Get it. Scotty Kitts, 45% of the vote. Johnny Burge, 40% of the vote. Now, thankfully, we don't have any wacky electoral systems around here like some municipalities or states have where you have runoffs.
Wow.
Because there are some races where if you don't get a majority, if you don't get 50% of the vote, then the two candidates go against each other. So in a crazy, messed up world, Johnny and Scotty would go head and head, and they would be courting votes from Farmer and Profit to decide who was going to actually win. But
I like simple majority elections.
Yes.
It's a lot easier on everybody involved.
yeah, it saves the taxpayers money. A lot of people don't realize how much money this takes to put on.
Right.
And probably, less exhausting for the poll workers who we also should think, because the poll workers do sit down all day long. Probably a lot of people are get cranky with them and everything else. It's just that it's a hard job to be a poll worker. And so thank you all for the poll workers that have been at these polling locations for 8, 10, 12 hours today. And it's just tough, especially if you're in a place where there's big lines and people get cranky standing in lines. And it's not your fault that it takes a long time, but it's part of the American process. I'm just glad that people get out and vote.
Yeah. That's one thing I was very disappointed that as a 17-year-old I couldn't vote this round. I've got another 2 years to go, and then I can cast my vote maybe in 2 years.
Maybe when you get it to become, you can lower the vote age to 16.
Well, if I'm president, we'll do
You're
that.
paying taxes. You work.
That's
You pay
right.
taxes.
I pay taxes every
You
paycheck.
should have a voice.
All right. Well, before we get too crazy off the rails with all this 16-year-old voting stuff for people that don't even know what package stores are, anyway, how unique is it though that you can vote for if there's package stores or not, and then you've got to be 21 to purchase something from them. You can be 18 to vote.
Yeah, you're planning for the future at that point.
Yeah, but folks, I think Kelly Jo's kind of giving us the sign to start wrapping stuff up here. Josh, you have any final parting words on this election night?
Well, I've been railing on it all night. The early voting for this turnout was 55%, nearly 56%. 56% of the people in the La Follette City and City Council race voted early. So,
It's unusual to see such big swings in the early voting process. But as Josh pointed out, you saw Mike Evans in a strong position. I think he was in second place. And then early voting came in and he went all the way down to fourth place. So
if you're going to run for office in Campbell County, hit the early votes.
you gotta have your campaign, Brandon. You gotta have your campaign done by the time early voting starts.
Yeah. My strategy was we knocked on 2,000 doors. My strategy was get out there, talk to folks. I knocked on Josh's door early. And then the folks that, hit as many doors as you can prior to early voting. And then from there, you've got 2 or 3 weeks before Election Day. Early voting going to start being a lot smarter, a lot more strategic about it. So
Now's the time that Scotty, the new city council candidates that have went in, it's your time to start working now. It's time for you to make La Follette a better place to live. It's time for you to make Caryville a better place to live, and to make just anybody in Campbell County, through the power you wield as a politician, you can improve lives. So hopefully you use it responsibly.
Isaac, parting words?
Parting words, I'd like to thank everybody that's watched us tonight. I'd like to congratulate everybody that not only won, but everybody that ran, you know, and congratulate all the voters. You know, you got out and exercised your right to vote, which is amazing. And thanks to all my friends out there watching tonight, and good night to everybody.
And guys, on my final goodbye, I'll say something that I said earlier is, folks, you know, we're just blessed to live in a country where you can go out, you can exercise your right to vote. You know, Tennessee is ranked the #1 in the state for election integrity, thanks to Campbell County native election administrator for the state of Tennessee, Mark Goins. You know, this is a wonderful place to live. Tennessee's a great place to live. America's a great place to live. Campbell County is a wonderful place to live, and we've got a great slate of folks who put themselves out there, who are willing to risk it, willing to step out there. People say ugly things about them, people tear them down, all because they want to help somebody else. So if you were a candidate, whether you won or not, whether you lost or not, congratulations. Thank you for putting yourself out there, for having the willingness, the selflessness to run. And folks, no matter how we wake up tomorrow, if your candidate wins or loses, if your candidate won the city council race or lost the presidency, folks, at the end of the day, we're all blessed to be Americans, and I truly do believe this is the greatest place in the world. And I believe God's blessed this country, and I think God's blessed this community. So folks, thank you all for watching The Times. Kelly Jo, any final words?
Just as everyone else has already said, I just want to thank everybody for watching. We appreciate our audience more than we can ever express. And every election, any event that we ever do, you all just make it so much fun for us, and we enjoy doing what we do, and we want to continue providing you the best and most excellent coverage out there. Thank you.
Thank you guys. See y'all. God bless.